Hi, hello. Welcome again to the official YouTube channel of the New Intelligent Design. Again, I've been living here in Japan for 21 years and I don't have more time to practice my English. So please bear with me if you find bad grammars, bad pronunciation, bad sentence structures. But I'm going to speak slowly to you today so that you could understand my videos. Today, we are going to talk to one of my science book that I publish in Amazon.com as ebooks. Before that, I would like to show to you some references that I borrowed from our library here in Japan, near my place. Because in many debate forums that I've been, many proponents of the theory of evolution have been claiming that the evidences of the theory of evolution are tons and tons and tons and many. Okay, I will show you some references, some books. This one that I borrowed, this one is a big book. It's called Evolution. In here, you could find the picture of this man, Charles Darwin. If you are going to weigh and find the weight of this book, you can find that this book weighs 2,167 grams. This one is one book. The other, this one, in Japanese it's called a Shinka. And this one, you can see, this book in Japanese, this is written in Japanese and it is Shinka. It means evolution. Okay, there's a Darwin here. If you're going to weigh this one, it's 579 grams. And the other, this one is Darwin no Shinkaron. This is the Darwin's theory of evolution. If you open this page, you'll find this picture and more pictures. If you weigh this book, this comes from National Geographic. This one's magazine, I think. It is 418 grams. And the last but not the least that I'm using here is this one. Evolution. A rough guide to evolution. You see? And you see? If you weigh this book is 339 grams. So, for these books that I borrowed, this one weighs 3,503 grams. Assuming that these authors had printed 1,000 copies per books, and let us say that one ton is equal to 1,000 kilogram, you could see that the 4 books that I borrowed, they're almost 3.5 tons for 1,000 copies. There are a lot of many. But there are more books, more articles, more publication written for the theory of evolution. But today, we are going to talk to one of my books. And this book is called The Biology of Intelligent Design. after I discovered the real and the universal intelligence and applied this to biology, I've written this book. I'm going to give to you today the summary. And if you would like to read the detailed discussion, explanation, you can just borrow and read my books through Amazon. Okay, today we are going to talk about the biology of intelligent design. This is the page of my book in Amazon. First page, Biology of Intelligent Design. And this is the front page of my book, The Biology of Intelligent Design, first edition. The reason why I wrote first edition because I'm looking for many people, many scientists who could smash, who could rebut, who could falsify my theory, my explanation. But until now I couldn't find. I'm planning to include that to my second edition. But until now, there's no one who had ever refuted my discovery in biology. Okay, before that, before we discuss my book, I will show you the difference between my books of biology to the one that you know in our present biology. Let's remember that I discovered the real and universal intelligence for intelligent design, and then I applied that to biology. Of course, if you're going to apply that, you will change. The whole science will change. So before that, how do we see? If you're going to use the new intelligent design, how do you see the biology of our present time? Let's make a simple analogy through this PowerPoint. According to Darwin, Darwin said and claimed that all US or American citizens are males. According to him, I've met them in Texas. Okay? Oh, double N. And then, this Thomas Henry Huxley said, yes, all of US citizens are males. Darwin said it. Okay? But the question is, how did Darwin know it? According to Darwin, I met them in Galapagos restaurant in Texas. So when he went to Galapagos restaurant, the waiter, the waitress, the cook, the customers, according to Darwin, they are all males. Okay? And then, here comes Stephen Jay Gould, Kevin Padian, Kenneth Miller, Richard Dawkins, Eugene Scott, Jerry Allen Coyne. And they said, no females. Darwin said it. Meaning they agree with Darwin. Okay? Now here I am. I said, can they differentiate a male to a female? Can Darwin? Can the scientists? Can the scientists differentiate a male to a female? A male to a female, a differentiation. But Darwin said there's no female. He just said males. Okay. This one way how you see our biology today. I will give you one more analogy. Okay. Second analogy. Darwin claimed that the earth is flat. This is the second analogy. So he said that I've seen it in Manila. Okay? And Huxley said, yes, the Darwin was flat. The earth is flat. Darwin said it. Okay? So, The question again is, how did Darwin know it? So Darwin said, I've seen it in Galapagos Sea and Manila. So when Darwin went to Galapagos Sea in Manila, he concluded that the earth is flat. Then here comes Stephen Jay Gould, Kevin Padilla, Kenneth Miller, Richard Dawkins, Eugene Scott, Jerry Allen Kleine, and many biologists who support Darwin and said, yes, the earth is flat. Darwin said it. Now here I am. I claim that the earth is round. You see? If you are going to use the intelligent design that I've discovered, you will see, you can compare that the biology that Darwin had started and his supporters, they're just like talking that the earth is flat or that all US citizens are males. And when I came here and I discovered something, the real and universal intelligence, I said no. The earth is round and there are probably females because we can make a dividing line between a male and female. That is what we are going to discuss today. That is what my book. So if you are going to read my book, just put into your mind that I claim that the earth is round and the theory of evolution claim that the earth is flat. You can see the difference. You can read it in my book. Now I'm going to give you the summary of my book. If you bought my book in Amazon, and if you bought this one, the New Intelligent Design, you will understand the biology book that I have written. But if you don't buy this book, the New Intelligent Design, Turning the Scientific World Upside Down, I think it's very hard for you to understand my biology books. That's why my advice to you, before you buy my books about biology, buy this book first, because I've written this first, the background, the foundation of my discovery. Okay, in the book that I have written, The Biology of Intelligent Design, I put a chapter on it. In chapter 1, I name it Focusing Science. In here I said, this chapter will show you how our real scientists conduct science, real scientists. Real science, the same technique that I use in dethroning the theory of evolution. This chapter will tell you how intelligent design could replace an erroneously reigning theory by discovery of the categorization process or the universal boundary line of all X in the entire natural realm. This powerful categorization process method that had been discovered by the intelligent design will be the samurai sword that will be cut and uproot the erroneous theory that Darwin had initiated, the theory of evolution. So in this chapter, I discussed to you that if you are a real scientist, you are going to think many things before, many contradictions, many things before you make any conclusion. You are going to research, you are going to search, you are going to make an experiment, you are going to make every detailed things that could contradict, that could explain your theory. And that's what I've discussed in this chapter. Second chapter, falsifying the theory of evolution. To tell you the truth, it was very hard for me to falsify the theory of evolution. Do you know why? The very simple reason is that the theory of evolution has no universal boundary line. X and Y. This is a design, intelligence, and it is natural. So the theory of evolution, there is no universal boundary line between the two. They mix together. The theory of evolution mixed everything. Your right hand, your left hand, your right hand, they join together. The natural process and the intelligent process, they join together. So you don't know. In other words, there is no categorization between the black and the white. Everything is gray. Everything is blurred. Everything is not in detail. So, but I discovered the universal boundary line. So it's very easy for me to check if this belongs to the theory of evolution, if this doesn't belong to theory of evolution. It's so easy to check. So falsifying the theory of evolution by using the categorization method in science, this chapter will show you a different version or different view against the explanation that you had heard before, been taught before, had accepted and had believed. The old biological explanation that you had heard before were erroneously explained by our best scientists from the time of Darwin until now. While probably wiggling your head of disbelief in Owen reading this book, you will surely know how a powerful classification method could clear and settle many erroneous explanations from our current biological scientists and the related fields, as this chapter falsifies the theory of evolution. It's very hard to falsify it, but it is not impossible. I did it. Chapter 3. So, once I falsified the theory of evolution, this is already gone. It should be replaced. And in my book, I written there the replacement. The replacement I put in detail. But before I give the replacement, I made an experiment for interrelation. Excuse me. Replacing a reigning theory requires not only an explanation, but also experiment, so that anybody could repeat, rebut, confirm, and falsify the new explanation or new proposed theory or hypothesis in biological science. An experiment is worth a million explanations. I love to make an experiment, especially if I could make it, because experiment will going to clear my, for me, it will clear my minds. Experiment will going to settle all your questions in science if you would like to ask questions. Thus, I need an experiment, and I made an experiment, and I put that experiment in my books. Chapter 4. Now, I discuss here in chapter 4 about the replacement for the theory of evolution. I call it the biological interrelation. Maybe the shortcut for this is BITS. B-I-T-S. Oh, wait. Like that. BITS. Like a drill bits. It will surely put into your mind. Biological interrelation. This chapter discusses the new replacement in biological science with the help of science, engineering, intelligence, categorization method, and intelligent design. The new. This is how the new theory nailed the theory of evolution, unsaid the theory of evolution, and replaced the theory of evolution in its position in biological science, and even in biological world. Theory has nothing to do with in biological world will be the next popular slogan in our generation. The new replacement is called biological interrelation or the theory of biological interrelation. In short, BITS, BITS. That's why. That's my short abbreviation. In chapter 5, of course, if I replace the theory of evolution and I name it BITS, B-I-T-S, the biological interrelation, there must also be a mechanism for interrelation. And I include that in this chapter, the mechanism, the natural mechanism for interrelation. This chapter is the continuation of the of the explanation of biological interrelation as explore all mechanisms that belongs to it This chapter also compares the mechanism of biological evolution to biological interrelation. So in this chapter, I put the two, biological evolution and biological interrelation, side by side. I just explain these two so that any reader, any scientist can follow the flow of the story. Chapter 6, Biology and Engineering. Remember that I have a degree in civil engineering. So, well, we built many houses, roads, but many people claim that the theory of evolution can be used in engineering. I said, no, you cannot use that. In this chapter, since all living organisms have all biological structures, thus the topic of engineering is very important in this chapter. In this chapter, you will see how the theory of evolution has become a dangerous and useless idea in engineering. That if the principle of the theory of evolution are applied in real engineering world, humanity will be wiped out instantly in the face of the earth. It is true. If you use the principle of the theory of evolution for engineering, you cannot build anything. Yeah, that is my conclusion. That is why I wrote in chapter 6 about the biology and engineering, because there are always a biological structure that we could follow. We could use that biological structure to build good buildings, good structures. In chapter 7, as you can see, how about this? Let's read. Although the theory of evolution has already been unsettled, this chapter had given the theory of evolution a best shot of its defense in its 160 years of existence before the theory of evolution will be turned into non-existent. I included in this book, in this chapter, about I think three of the most powerful arguments for the theory of evolution. That if you don't know about the real and universal intelligence, you will surely believe that evolution is correct. But since I discovered the real and universal intelligence, it's very easy for me to discuss that the theory of evolution is wrong. But if you don't know that, you will surely accept that the theory of evolution is correct. So I've given it three. I think that I give them one. I will give you a hint. One is the RLN, the recurrent laryngeal nerve, and what other? I give them. Just read my book. Okay. So, chapter 8, prediction and deduction. If this biological interrelation is the correct and the right replacement for the theory of evolution, this biological interrelation must have always a prediction and deduction. In other words, if the earth is round, we can always predict anything that belongs to the earth is round. If the earth is flat, you can use also prediction for the earth is flat. But here, the prediction and deduction, I've used it here. This chapter discusses the prediction and deduction from biological interrelation as it unsets the theory of evolution in biological science. It includes all possible prediction of biological interrelation. Some are old and some are new. This chapter also differentiates the theory of evolution to the new proposed theory in biological science, the biological interrelation. So, in other words, to make it easy to understand, I put the two, the old one, the one that is false, and the true one, I put it together so that you can see which one is better. Of course, this one is better because this one is new and is right and is correct. So, in chapter 9, again, although I know that this is wrong, for the sake of you scientists and you who are going to read my book and my discovery, I try to make a comparison in this chapter between the evolution and the interrelation. This chapter compared the old and the new theory in a scientific criterion. I made a criteria In this criteria, I did not make it. I just copied that from a source, from reference, and I made it as like a criteria and differentiate the two. I compared evolution and interrelation. You can read that. And then 10, chapter 10, the scientific evidence for the existence of intelligent design or intelligent agent. Since some of you probably think that since I discovered the real and universal intelligence, you will surely ask me, does the intelligent agent exist? Intelligence predicts that an intelligent agent exists. It predicts, but this intelligent exists will always use a natural process to make something. But making life, I think, since I am not the intelligent agent, I don't know how to make life. But the intelligent agent knows life more than I do, more than all the scientists do. So life is detected to be as an intelligent design products. So somebody had made life, had designed life, and the one who designed life is the intelligent agent who knows about life. And since all living organism has life, it is assumed, and it is an irresistible conclusion, that an intelligent agent had intelligently designed all living organism. Okay, this is one of the most controversial chapters in this book. This chapter explains the possibility of an intelligent agent by the power of categorization method that has been discovered by intelligent design. Yes, intelligence predicts that there is always an intelligent agent. And so I think you are going to ask me more questions. Then who is the intelligent designer or the agent? Who? Well, for me, Jesus Christ, the candidate for the intelligent agent in science. I said candidate. You can use rock, you can use stone, you can use an angel, you can use a cloud, you can use anything you want. But for me, as a discoverer, the only thing that I know is Jesus Christ, the candidate for intelligent design. Because this intelligence predicts that the intelligent agent must have a dual nature. At least dual nature. Dual nature, one, two. It must at least dual nature, 1, 2. In other words, Jesus Christ has a dual nature. He has spiritual body and he has a physical body according to the Bible. So I just used the candidate for me. For me, it's my candidate. You can use your own candidate. So this chapter discusses the possibility that Jesus Christ as one candidate for the position of being the intelligent designer or agent in the biological world. I just made it because I think that he is one of the candidates, one of my best candidates. So that's my book. So again, if you are going to read my book, just remember that the science that we know today without my discovery, they are just like talking about the flat earth. The book that I've written, I'm just talking about the round earth. You choose. So if you think that way, you can easily understand my mind, my discovery. The theory of evolution talks about the flat earth, and the biological interrelation talks about the round earth. So, you know already how to read my books about biology and science. This is the book again, The Biology of Intelligent Design. Thank you for watching this video. It is too long and I'm very sorry because it's too long video, but I think that you know something in my video. Again, this is a summary of my books because I cannot give you all the details here. It will take time for me to make a details. So if you would like to make a detailed review, study, or you read my books, just buy this book in the Amazon. It's too expensive. It's too cheap. So you can rely that. You can see that how I discovered and how I overturned the theory of evolution that started by this man, Darwin. Thank you, and see you again for my other videos. Thank you.